Okay, guys, let's get right into it. So, Caelynn, girl, what? I cannot believe that she did this. Watching this episode explain to me the comments that I was receiving on older YouTube videos about The Bachelor in Paradise and the comments that you guys were sending me on Twitter and on Instagram, which will be somewhere up in this video if you want to check me out over there. Because let me tell you something, you guys were reading her for filth and I was like, well, what did Caelynn do? And then I watched this episode and I was like, Caelynn, this was the dumbest decision you could have ever made, because here we have Dean, somebody who don't really want her. He was very open about that in the beginning. He let her know that everything that he was going to do in the relationship was minimal because he got to work on himself. He basically came back to Paradise because he got lonely in his van and wanted a partner. That's the only reason why he came back. And Caelynn can't even recognize that because she's so mesmerized by the fact that, one, Dean is very popular in Bachelor Nation. That is one of the main things keeping this woman attracted to him. Dean is also very attractive. But if we're going to compare, we're going to have to be fair. She left Connor, 6'5" Connor, who looked like he come from money, built like a Mack truck, in her age range, a nice guy who was really into her, who was telling her the truth when he sat down with her when she was confused about her decision. He was just like, he dumped you on your birthday. Poor Connor. He was over here trying to convince this woman to stay with him after the dude that dumped her on her birthday, who told her from jump that he was trash, came back to get her. Sis, Dean bathes in the lake. Dean got medium arms, lives in a van, and bathes in the lake. And you are seriously considering him over Connor. 6'5" Connor? Girl, I don't care how great his hair is. It ain't better than 6'5". Dean takes this girl away. He's sitting and talking to her. And he's just like, well, you know, I just realized that when I left here that I just couldn't stop thinking about you. I mean, you put a smile on my face, and when I think about you, I just can't stop smiling. That's it? That's it? That's obviously it, because that is all Caelynn needed to hear. As soon as Dean said that, she got up. No, she didn't get up. Forgive me for giving her some kind of grace that she does not have. She starts making out with the dude in front of Connor. Connor gets up defeated, and I'm like, you don't even got no class to tell Dean, you know what, I'm gonna go with you, go upstairs and wait for me. Then come over, pull Connor, take him away and talk to him. Everybody is watching this dude get played. After you came for him. You came after him, Caelynn. And then all of a sudden you were in love with him. Now you're in love with Dean. I don't think that she really is in love with Dean. I think she's in love with the fact that he is a popular guy in Bachelor Nation, because she's that girl. She is that girl. And I saw the previews for the reunion. She's going to be doing all this crying. Girl, we don't care. We don't care. We have been on board with you since your debut on Colton season. We loved your storyline. All of the women were behind you. All of Bachelor Nation had your back. And then you showed your true colors. Sis, you and Blake need to be on serious image like repair, because this Paradise was not a good look for either of you. I have never, in my history of watching Bachelor in Paradise, watched a contestant or, you know, a character on this show make some of the worst decisions that Caelynn is making. And you know what? Even thinking about that, I realize I have to take that back. There is somebody worse than Caelynn in decision-making in Paradise, and it's Dean. They are a match made in hell. You know what? Since we're talking about Dean, let's stay on him for a minute. Dean, you don't have to be trash. You don't have to be trash. Like, there was no reason for you to leave another season of Paradise just being complete trash. You did not have to come in after knowing, and I guarantee you the producers already let him know that she had a thing with Connor. You did not have to come in and take this woman away from this guy. You ended up looking like complete trash to Bachelor Nation and to your friends on, I keep on wanting to call it an island. Are they on an island or like a coast? Wherever. This Paradise hell, okay? You did not have to come into Paradise and do this. You actually left with a good image, and here you come back and you just show us that you've learned nothing. You did not have to come in and confuse Caelynn and play with her emotions like we all know that you were going to do, and then hurt Connor like that. Like, he was collateral damage and it wasn't even fair. And then he's sitting here talking about how, oh, you know, I know that I have a lot of things to work on. You know, me and you can leave Paradise, but I'm not sure if it'll work out. But we just have to try, because I know I'm not perfect. I know I have a lot of issues. I got a lot of things to work on, but I didn't want to leave here and not at least try this, but I'm not perfect and I got a lot of things to work on. So you're already trying to prepare the girl for the breakup. You're already trying to prepare the girl for how you're going to treat her by telling her this so that you can have your out and be like, well, I told you that I was working on me. Dude, you are 28 years old. Let me tell you something. After 25, life speeds up, bro. You don't have a lot of time to fix yourself and figure out what is right now. Ain't nobody giving you that many passes at 28. At 18, they'll give you that, oh, he's young, he doesn't. At 28, people are looking at you like you almost 30. You better figure it the hell out. So Caelynn finally leaves with Dean, and you know, Connor is just heartbroken. All of Paradise is watching this like, oh, like they're going back and forth. Some of the women are confused because they're happy for her because Caelynn is their friend, but they also know that what she did was absolute trash. They know that she's not right, but they're happy that their friend is happy for now. So anyway, Dean and Caelynn are in the van, and Dean is just like, oh, the good thing about, you know, living in a van is that you drive the van, but then you sleep in the van and you wake up in the van. What? And another good thing about living in a van is that, you know, you eat where you sleep. So you like wake up in the van, and if you're hungry, you make yourself some ramen and you eat it in the van. The bar is in hell. Hell, ladies. Oh my goodness. You have to know your worth. I'm sorry. You have to know your worth. Caelynn, how old is she? No, you know what? You're old enough to know right from wrong. And yeah, you should have just left Paradise with nobody, because you make decisions. Wait, you fall in love too quickly. You fall in and out of love very fast, because the way you have acted with Dean and with Connor lets me know, and I'm getting re-mad at Blake, lets me know that you were acting like a damn wife with Blake. You were acting like you two were married, and Blake, you had to have seen that, and you played into that just to get some of her cookie. That hammer is dangerous. Oh my goodness, Blake, please, you have to stay out of Paradise for like 2 or 3 years. You have to come back so mature with a different haircut, because you got a square built, your head is square, your body is built, you got a whole Lego built, right? So you got to come back with some curls or something to round this head out. You got to come back with something different. And Caelynn, just don't come back. Girl, because I don't know if the fan base is going to be kind to you when you come back. And you are very fragile. You need a lot of attention and love and affection. And I don't know, girl. I don't know if you can come back. Or you know what, even if Degrassi Blake can come back. You both were a match made in hell too. So I'm glad that didn't work out. Caelynn, get a regular dude. Get somebody outside of Bachelor Nation. You need somebody who is stable. You also need to grow up a bit more. Please, my dear, from what I've seen in you, you don't need to get married in your 20s at all. You don't need to get married. You don't need to be anybody's mama. You have a lot of work to do, sis. Grow up, live some life, you know, then at a good 34, that's when you need to be starting to, you know, looking at potential husbands. Right now, you are not ready. You fall in love too quick. You fall out of love too quick. You're easily manipulated by men. It's, no, you don't know what you want yet. You have no idea what you want. So then we get a new entry into Paradise. Vivi? I can't. I'm just like Matt. That is, I didn't know that was a hard name to pronounce. Vivi. She comes into Paradise and she keeps on going after guys, and everybody is like in a relationship. All of Bachelor Nation in Paradise essentially forced her to take out Connor, and they actually have a good time. They actually have a good time. I'm glad that, you know, she took him out and that he had a fun date. He got a little kiss right away. He needed that because he was, you know, he was broken. Caelynn like played with his heart and, you know, hopped in a van and sailed away, drove away to go, you know, bathe in the lake with Dean. So he was feeling some sort of way about that. So I'm glad that he got a little date. I'm glad that Vivi turned his frown upside down. But can we talk about how Degrassi Blake is hating? Blake is so mad that Matt is getting attention from Bree, because let me tell you something. Blake wants Bree, right? He know he can't go after Bree, so he's watching Bree. He's watching how Bree and Matt are progressing, and he wishes that that was him. He threw in Matt getting a massage from Sydney just to throw us off, but Blake's initial issue with Matt is the fact that him and Bree are coupled up at this point, and he wants to be coupled up with Bree, because the way he was hating, I was like, nah, Blake, you wish that was you. That's why you hating so hard. He was pissed. The way he was like talking about them being together, and then how he was just talking about Matt. Matt's not leaving here with Bree. Nobody's really interested in Matt. Matt's not that guy. He's not gonna. Why do you care? Why do you care? Because you're jealous. Degrassi Blake, you're crazy is showing. So let's talk about Demi and Christian. Demi is going through just the anxiety of being out for the very first time. Like, she came out to her parents, but now she's out on national TV, and she's really starting to develop strong feelings for Christian. So this is something that she sees taking out into the world, right? And she's nervous about that. She has anxiety about experiencing shame. She's experiencing fear. A lot of things are going on with her. However, Christian, I keep on wanting to call her Christina. Christian has been out and proud for a while now. I think she's had like 5 or 6 years. So she's not where Demi is. At this point, they're unequally yoked, but they still love each other, so they're trying to make it work. Also, Demi is dealing with the fact that she is with somebody who is very affectionate, very open, and she's just not there yet. And she's afraid that if she doesn't get there with her, that she will lose Christian. Here is what I say to Demi. You being upset that Christian is to you flirting or whatever, and like being very affectionate to people, and that bothers you because you think that you can't get there and be open like she is and be out and proud like she is. What I want to say to you is, one, sis, give yourself time. This is a very new territory for you. You have every right to have anxiety and to deal with fear. All of those things that you are experiencing and dealing with, those are valid feelings, because it is still very dangerous in the United States of America and a large part of the world to be of the LGBTQ community. So all of that is very valid, right? However, mama, trust the woman in you. Trust your womanly instincts. Christian is flirting with these women. Yes, she is. When Demi was talking about Christian flirting in her confessionals, I was just like, oh, Demi, here you go assuming things again. Then we get the B-roll of Christian rubbing up on people's shoulders from behind, taking their hands, to kissing them and saying, oh, girl, I love you. Doing all this stuff. Let me tell you something. If that was a dude, Demi would have been for them. But because it's a woman, it's just like, I'm confused. I'm not sure. No. It is what it is. Christian is flirting. Christian, you know, is probably a hoe. But she young, she living her best life, you know what I mean? And she probably is here because she has this great opportunity to be on this TV show and further her career with a woman that she is very interested in. But from watching this B-roll of Christian, I was just like, yeah, Christian, you ain't ready to be in no committed relationship, sis. Nah, you living your best life. You're living your best life. And it's probably a woman or two who has given her some signals that, hey, you can get it if you really want it. So, Demi, your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid, and I don't think that you're interpreting things differently. Trust the woman in you. She never steers you wrong. I feel like JPJ today is still too immature to be with Tay Tay. I love what he did. I love how he loves her, right? I just feel like the immature part of him does not make him a good candidate for The Bachelor or to be Tay Tay's husband. Because when JPJ does not get his way, he reacts like a kid. He gets really upset. He has these temper tantrums. And it's just like, when you're trying to be somebody's husband, that's not a good quality to have. But the way he loves this woman, you start to forgive some of his flaws. And it's just like, those flaws are really big flaws at this point. It's not that you can't grow out of them, but right now it's just not attractive. But I love the way that he loves her. And I think that's what keeps Tay Tay interested in him, is how he loves her. Because I guess a while ago they had a conversation about her not being able to go to the prom because nobody asked her. And he was just like, I remember you telling me that you didn't go to the prom, so I would like to take you to your own prom. And it was so beautiful. I know she really loved that. How can you not? Like, I love that, watching it. And to be the woman experiencing that is probably on a whole nother level. You know, to have this guy who you have had multiple conversations with listen to you, take that information and really do something very special with you. So I love this. I really, really did. And I do like them together. I ship them together just later in life. I just don't think that right now these two are ready for marriage. Tay Tay is ready for marriage, not JPJ. He wants to be. He's just not there yet. But there are two things who are there and were about to make their national TV debut. Tay Tay's titties. Listen, Tay Tay, I went through this too when I was a small C back in the day. I used to think that I could wear everything. You know what I mean? Because my boobs weren't that heavy then. They were still sitting up. They still sitting up. You know, for them to be, I got some H's. My God, today I got some big titties. Okay, but they're still sitting nice. Thank you, Jesus. Woo! Because girl, how heavy these things are, they should be at my ankle. But anyway, I used to go through that where I thought that I could wear anything, but honey, a full C got a mind of its own. You have to catch them titties, and you have to put them in some contraptions that could hold them together. Because when she was wearing this dress, she was adjusting the whole time. You know what I mean? Because they were, you know, they were about to say hello. They were about to debut on Paradise. I was like, girl, watch them things. When she was dancing, it was going in, and she kept on adjusting. And I'm not faulting her for that, because I went through that too. I remember my mom having to pull me aside and saying, you know what, Nikki? Maybe just try a bra with this one this time. And I'm like, wow, what's going on? They all over the place. And not that anything is wrong with that, right? But not everybody got strong skin. So sis, just the FYI, while they sitting here now, protect them, support them, strap them up. You can let them fly. Just know they got a mind of their own, and the titty might pop out at some point. Stay woke. Stay woke. So Degrassi Blake, who does not like anybody else getting attention. He's so dramatic, so emotional, so spoiled. Blake is such a spoiled grown man because he sees JPJ doing this whole prom thing, and all of a sudden he gets this idea that he wants to do something sweet for Christina. So he writes her his own date card, takes the date card over to her in front of everybody so everybody can be like, oh my goodness, this is so sweet. And he was just eating it up because he was doing that for himself. So he takes Christina over, they sit down, and he has like this really, listen, the spread was romantic. It was really, really cute, but you know, it's the same kind of Paradise dates on the daybed. Wow. So he takes her over there and he sits her down and he's trying to like get there with her, and he's talking about spending the rest of his life with her, and he can see their kids together. All these lies, all of these lies. And I'm so glad. I honestly believe that Christina saw that. She knew that this was game, and she was just like, I can't get there with you. And she ends up leaving Paradise. But I will say this, I want to believe that in that moment, Christina realized that Blake is just playing her so that he could stay here. And she just did not feel like going through that emotional roller coaster again because she went through that already with Dean. I honestly think that last week when she had that breakdown because she thought that he was going out with Bree, she had this moment, and women, y'all know that moment. You could be so into a dude. You're crying over him. You're being very emotional. You're falling out. You're just like not in your right mind over this man. And then one day you just wake up and you're just like, I'm not gonna go through this again. I know my worth. I'm done. And you are out of it. And there is nothing that he can do to get you back in it. I think that's what happened to Christina. She probably was crying in that bathroom while Haley was doing nothing to help her and was just like, no, I'm not doing this again. Ain't no man ever gonna have me like this again. I'm done. Because when she came out that bathroom, she was a different person. If you look back that last episode, even when Blake told her that he wasn't going out on the date, she was already okay. She was already okay. I think she had that moment and she was like, never again. Never again. And I'm happy for her. I hope that's it, because I was confused that she told Blake that she can't get there with him when she had that whole meltdown last week about him going on that date with Bree. The only thing that makes sense to me is that I think she had that wake up moment that we all have where it's just like, nope, I know my worth. I'm not going through this again, and I'm not giving you another chance. I'm done and I'm moving on. I think that's what happened to her. I hope that's what happened to her. After Christina leaves, Blake is having his whole meltdown now because I think at this point he realizes that he can't pursue Bree in Paradise. Even though Christina left, it still wouldn't look good on him if he tries to pursue Bree. So he ends up forcing tears out of his face, and he also ends up leaving Paradise. But baby, let me tell you something that I know. I bet you while Blake was in that van with them fake tears rolling down his face that he was DMing Bree on Instagram. I bet you Bree is probably getting the hammer right now as we speak.